I absolutely love this, and I hate the fact that I loved it so much. So DraftKings put out a new ad, and it's really good, and I really liked it. And I hate the fact that I liked it so much because I don't like sports gambling. I'm a sports purist. I want you to root for a team, not for your fantasy league or whatever it is. So I loved it. I don't like the whole thing. Let's get into it. But before I actually watch this ad together, I want to give you some context around what's happening with DraftKings to better explain why they did this and why I think it is so brilliant. So to start off, let's take a look at some SEMrush data around just how popular DraftKings is relative to its competitor FanDuel, right? So FanDuel is the the big sports gambling app platform, whatever that really gives DraftKings a run for its money. So 450,000 people search for the term FanDuel every month on Google. 536,000 people globally versus DraftKings, which is 110,000 people search for. Well, let me scratch that. 110 searches are done for DraftKings every month versus 450 searches for FanDuel every month in the US. It could be multiple people doing multiple searches, not people, searches. Sorry, on Google. Globally, while again, 536 searches are done for the term FanDuel each and every month, it's only 130 for DraftKings. So you can clearly see FanDuel kind of has more of this searchability, top of mind awareness relative to DraftKings. But it's not just that top of mind awareness, people going to Google how popular from a quantitative point of view. But when you start looking at the sentiment around the two brands, it's amazing to see what's happening. So, by the way, I freaking love this tool. So SEMrush has a new tool. It's called their AI Analytics. They did not ask me to pitch this. I just have early access to it because I consult for them. I used to be their head of comms. I freaking love this tool. So what it does is it goes around and it looks at the domain's entire presence across various LLMs. And what I'm looking at now is the sentiment that ChatGPT is showing for DraftKings versus FanDuel. So it's unbelievable. Okay, FanDuel has an over 90% positive sentiment around its placement in LLMs, right? It's viewed or it's talked about in a favorable way, as opposed to DraftKings, which isn't horrible, but it's far less. It's just close to 75% positive sentiment or favorable sentiment towards the brand inside of LLMs. And you could see this continue all throughout. So one of the things that the tool does, by the way, it's good. It's really good. So it'll give you areas of improvement to focus on so that how you appear in the LLM. So for FanDuel, some of the topics or subtopics or aspects of his business that some are just saying, hey, you could do a better job with inside of the LLMs is, I don't know, competition from other platforms, potential for gambling addiction. That might be a topic you really want to address so that when you show up, you build that trust, yada, yada, yada. It's generally typical stuff you'd probably find for something that's FanDuel, like FanDuel. But when you start looking at DraftKings, you get things like they have inconsistent odd updates. I mean, odds for betting odds, meaning the product itself is viewed negatively. The product itself has flaws across how it's appearing in LLMs. That's a very different kind of problem than, okay, you're a sports gambling app. You're going to have certain problems. That's just, and like any business is going to have certain problems. And that is pervasive all the way throughout. By the way, you can see market share per LLM platform, which is really cool. And it is interesting in terms of just their appearance. And this is something to note, I feel like, about how LLMs work. So ChatGPT, FanDuel, DraftKings, pretty much the amount of placement, because if you're going to ask it something like, what are the best places to bet? You're going to get FanDuel, DraftKings. Right? But the sentiment about them is going to be a little bit different. That's what's interesting. By the way, with Search GPT, FanDuel is way ahead of DraftKings. Going back to the sentiment, when you really start digging into it, it is such a problem. So I'm going to use Also Asked. I love Also Asked. Again, another tool. Again, no, they don't pay me. I am just plugging it because it's freaking awesome. Although Mark Williams Cook is supposedly sending me a hoodie, which I also love hoodies. I love swag. Send me swag. So what Also Asked does, it takes a look at the questions people are asking Google around a certain topic, right? So in this case, let's take a look at FanDuel. And some of the questions you're getting back are, there are some, I'll call it hesitancy or skepticism about FanDuel. Like, is it safe to link a bank account to FanDuel? Okay. And to me, by the way, there's always going to be skepticism around a brand. Can you cash out of free bets? What happens if I lose a bet? How much can you cash out of FanDuel? There's all these things that, I'm a little bit skeptical of using FanDuel. Like, there's skepticism around every product. There's going to be a little bit more around a product or a brand that does gambling. When you go to DraftKings, it is on a different level altogether. So why does DraftKings need my SSN? SSN is Social Security number. It's your U.S. identification number. So it's not does DraftKings need my why? It's almost like, whoa, hey, DraftKings, why do you need that? There's a negative sentiment implied in the question itself. Does DraftKings actually pay out? It's not does DraftKings pay out. It's does DraftKings actually pay out? Like, I would think that they're not. I suspect that they're not going to. Should I trust DraftKings? It's one of the questions. It's like, it's explicit. Is DraftKings legal legit? It just keeps going and going. Why is there controversy around DraftKings? Is DraftKings safe? Again, when you look at the sentiment compared to FanDuel, and just in aggregate per the LLMs, and then the specific questions actual people are asking, there's an amazing amount of skepticism around DraftKings relative to its main competitor, FanDuel. With that, now we're going to watch the actual video. So let's have a look. Here we go. I really enjoyed it. I hope you will too. First, I'll just comment. I hate Boston sports. So thanks, FanDuel, for going with the Boston Bruins. All right. Sorry, let's start that again. My bad.
Said if you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
You gotta know when to hold 'em. Pull 'em already.
Know when to fold 'em.
Know when to walk away.
To travel.
Know
Good
when
pause.
to run.
Okay. So the first thing is this song is super nostalgic in the US. There's just something about, I don't know what it is, but there's obviously it's related to gambling, or you got to know when to fold them. There's something pure, there's something just very nostalgic about this song. So it's a really, really good choice of song. And I want to go back just for a quick second. The characters they choose, they look like real people that I would interact with at real bars. That dude, okay, I'm from New York originally. I know that dude. I know 100 of that dudes. I literally say the same thing what he's saying, and I'll play it for you again. It's like, come on, pull him already. And if you look at the TV screen, it's showing a baseball manager taking the pitcher out of a game, or about to, or maybe, right? Sometimes they go out there, they talk to him, and they leave the pitcher in there. He's like, get out of there. I've been there 1,000. I've yelled the same thing at the screen 1,000 times. But the guy looks the part. He looks like he works at a New York pizza place. He sounds like one too. So let's go back. Boom already. Love that.
Know when to walk away.
To travel.
Know when to run. Run. Run.
Stop.
Run.
This part I didn't like so much. Okay, so it's very authentic at this point. The people look authentic. The song is very authentic. The environment is incredibly authentic. And now you have some dudes at a golf. When was the last time you were at a golf course and an alligator chased you? So I thought that was a little bit of a bad decision. Again, if you realize what's happening, FanDuel's trying to make you feel kind of at home, kind of familiar, kind of trusting of them. This kind of pulls me back to Fantasyland just for a minute. All right, but again, every commercial is going to have problems.
You never count your money.
Okay, stop.
When you sit
What he's doing, when he says he's automatic from the 40, what he's saying is the kicker who kicks a field goal in American football, when he's kicking from 40 yards away, it's automatic. He's got this, right? Which is, oh, I'll make a bet on this. I didn't like that either. So again, we're going very authentic. We're going very trustworthy. We're getting very real. And they're interjecting a betting moment. I would have left all betting out of this. You'll see why in a minute. I would have left all things that reference actual betting or the possibility I'm going to do a bet right now outside of the fact like, forget it. I'm not going to bet right now. This is not a good time to bet, which you'll see what happens in a minute. I would have left this out. This is going in the opposite direction. And when you're doing branding, it's everything needs to be consistent. This is a moment of inconsistency. But the reason why it's there because they thought, okay, we got to sell. We got to tell you to go gamble, even though we're going to tell you not to gamble in a few minutes. So inconsistent. So this is tailgating at an American football game. I cannot tell you. So if you know I'm tailgating at an American football game, you know, like that, there is that dude. There is that drunk dude who decides to like jump onto a table. It may look crazy if you're from Europe, like that's great. No, it's not. That is actually authentic and really genuine. I really loved it. It's so good too. Let's run that again. Oh, look at that guy in midair. Woo! So what you're seeing happen is they're watching a game. In this case, they're watching a hockey game, a Boston Bruins game. Again, so much with the Boston here. I'm a New York fan. And it's not going their way. Like the game's just not going their way. And that happens as a sports fan. That's a very authentic. Like I have to tell my 7-year-old, the Yankees are not going to win every game. Literally, he gets very upset. And it's not our day. I try to explain to him, hey, you know, when a pitcher goes out there, they don't have their best stuff every day. It's okay to lose a game. So this sentiment, this experience that the people in the video are going through as a sports fan, this is very authentic. And now combine that with the very authentic song. You gotta know when to hold, know when to fold. Right? It's not my night. I said that 1,000 times. This is not our night. And it works perfectly for the gambling thing, right? It's not our night. Well, it's not my night. I thought I was gonna, nail these bets, whatever it was. I don't bet, so I'm not good at telling you what these bets are. It's not my night. I gotta fold them. Gotta know when to fold them. Right? It really all works very well. Yeah, back to the fake thing. Don't get it. Yeah, that guy. So what I told you before wasn't just me being personal. There is a real thing, okay, that gambling is ruining sports, and there's a negativity and a negative sentiment around that. And DraftKings, I always do that. DraftKings is doing a good job of leaning into that, saying, that's true. It is more fun when it's for the fun, when it's for the sports fandom, when it's for following your team, when it's not about the reason why I'm into this game is not because I got money on it. The reason why I'm into this game is because I just love, in this case, the Boston Bruins. I don't. That's a really powerful message that really speaks to a lot, and it builds trust. They're not stupid. It's like when sometimes you do negative marketing anti your product, it actually builds trust for your product, which is why I said before I didn't like the fact, and we're going to see it again in a second, I didn't like the fact that they had a guy trying to do a bet and trying to actually win. Everybody here is losing, right? The teams are losing. The people who are betting are losing. It's like time to give up for the night. We don't got it tonight.
When the dealing's done, there'll be time enough.
Like that, great.
When the dealing's done.
He's definitely automatic from the 15.
Just stop talking.
See, now they go back to the trying to sell you to gamble. And that's where it's inconsistent. Like the ad should have stopped here. Should have stopped here. Oh, not here. Here. The ad should have stopped here. Going back and now telling people, go gamble after you just said it's more fun when it's for fun, and you should be responsible and know when to fold them. And now you go to this guy. Okay? That part I didn't like so much. That wasn't my jam. And I thought that was very inconsistent on their part. And it kind of anti the whole message that they did. But In general, brilliant ad. The song choice, the people, the message, the latent messaging in it, the consistency between the overt messaging and the latent messaging outside of that guy trying to make a bet was great. And in context of all of the negative sentiment that I just showed you about them, that's a really good move by DraftKings. So kudos. A couple of things I would have done differently, but overall great. Also, don't bet. That's just my personal take. I mean, if you want to bet the free world, I guess so bet. But for me, it ruins the game. Till next time, you can bet on there being another video for next week. Oh, that was corny. We're going to leave that in.